Have you ever felt like life was unfair? Like no matter how hard you try, things just keep falling apart. Plans don't work out. People let you down. And sometimes, it feels like you're completely stuck. But here's something to remember. Peace doesn't come from having a perfect life. It comes from what happens inside your mind. Today, I want to share a simple story about one woman who changed an entire village through the quiet power of hope. Long ago, in a small village surrounded by green fields and tall trees, there lived an old woman named Serena. She stayed in a tiny mud house near a large banyan tree. Her hair was white with age, and her face carried the marks of time. But her eyes were always warm, gentle, and bright. What made Serena special was this: even though her life wasn't easy, she always smiled. She lived alone. Her husband had passed away years ago. She had no children. And yet, she never complained. Every morning she swept her yard, watered her plants, and sat quietly under the banyan tree with a cup of tea. And somehow, anyone who visited her always left feeling a little lighter. Life in the village was hard. Some years, the rain never came. Crops dried up. Families struggled just to survive. One afternoon, a young woman named Alicia came to Serena's home. Her clothes were dusty, her eyes heavy with tears. She whispered, "I don't know what to do anymore. My husband went to the city months ago to find work, but there's been no news, no money. My children are hungry, and I feel like I can't keep going." Serena listened in silence, and then she gently asked, "What have you been thinking about?" Alicia sighed. "I can't stop imagining the worst. I'm afraid he's abandoned us. These thoughts won't leave me." Serena looked at her kindly and said, "When your mind is filled with fear, you lose strength before life even tests you. But when you hold on to hope, even a small hope, you find the courage to move forward." Alicia shook her head. "But how can I stay hopeful when everything around me feels so hopeless?" Serena smiled softly. "Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who lost everything: his family, his home, his money. One day, he sat beside a river and cried. An old woman walked past and asked, 'Why are you crying?' He answered, 'I have nothing left. How can I ever be happy again?' The woman gently said, 'Look around. The river is still flowing. The sky is still above you, and you still have breath in your chest. As long as you are alive, you still have something.' The man looked up. For the first time, he noticed the wind, the warmth of sunlight, and he realized life still held small things worth being grateful for. From that day on, his life didn't change through magic. It changed because his mind changed." Serena turned back to Alicia. "You see, the man's world didn't shift overnight, but his thoughts became lighter. And that made his path easier to walk." Then she said, "If each morning you wake up and tell yourself, 'Today, I will keep going,' your heart will grow stronger. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you become strong enough to face it." Alicia stayed quiet. Then, slowly, she nodded. "I'll try." From that day on, Alicia began to change little by little. Every morning she whispered, "Today, I will continue." She still worked hard. She still cared for her children. But now, her heart held faith instead of only fear. Weeks later, one day she returned home and found a letter waiting for her. It was from her husband. He had finally found a job and was sending money home. Alicia burst into tears of relief. She ran to Serena's house, laughing and crying. "Serena, It's true. Things are getting better. Serena smiled gently. Hope doesn't guarantee life will be easy, but it keeps you standing long enough for good things to arrive. Word of Serena spread across the village. People came to her not because she had wealth, but because she carried peace. Slowly, the village began to change. People smiled more, and they supported one another more. Not because hardship disappeared, but because they faced hardship with stronger minds and kinder hearts. And this story reminds us of something important. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can choose what happens within you. Hope doesn't erase problems, but hope gives you strength to keep moving forward. Because sometimes, if you keep light in your mind, your world will slowly become brighter again. If this story touched your heart today, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced a time when hope helped you keep going? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories that bring peace, strength, and motivation. Thank you so much for listening. See you in the next video.